Heartbreak isn't the end. It's the beginning of something dangerous, because what breaks inside you doesn't always stay broken. Sometimes it evolves into something you no longer recognize. Let me tell you something you were never taught about pain. Most people think heartbreak is just sadness, just tears, just silence. But what they don't see is what happens after the tears stop falling. Imagine this. You are sitting alone at night. Your phone is silent. The person you built your world around is now just a memory that hurts differently every time you breathe. And in that silence, something begins to shift inside you. Not healing, not peace, something far more dangerous. Because heartbreak doesn't just remove someone from your life. It removes the version of you that believed too easily, trusted too deeply, and loved without armor. And what replaces that version is not innocent anymore. It's observant. It's colder. It starts noticing things it ignored before. It starts questioning love, people, and even itself. Carl Jung once hinted at this when he spoke about the shadow self. The part of us that awakens when pain forces us to see reality without illusion. And here's the truth no one tells you. Heartbreak doesn't just hurt you. It rebuilds you into someone you were never prepared to become. So the question is not whether you will heal. The real question is, what are you becoming while you heal? The day your old self died, you didn't just lose someone. You lost who you used to be. Before I continue, let me ask you, should I go deeper into this transformation, or do you want to analyze this part first? Now listen carefully. There is a day after heartbreak that no one talks about. It is not the day of the breakup, not the day of the argument, not even the day of the final goodbye. It is the quiet day after, when you wake up and realize something inside you is no longer the same. You look in the mirror, and the face staring back feels unfamiliar, not physically, but emotionally. Something behind the eyes has changed. That is the day your old self dies, not dramatically, not loudly, but silently, like a candle finally running out of wax. You see, we don't realize how deeply we attach our identity to people we love. When they leave, they don't just take their presence. They take the version of us that existed because of them, and now you are left standing in emotional ruins. Nietzsche once said, "One must still have chaos in oneself to give birth to a dancing star." But before the star is born, there is chaos. And this chaos is not beautiful. It is confusing. It makes you question everything you once believed about love, loyalty, and even yourself. You begin to replay memories like a broken film. You search for answers that no longer exist in the present tense, and slowly, something shifts. You stop being who you were, but you are not yet who you will become. You are suspended in emotional void. And this is where transformation begins, not in healing, but in destruction, because only what breaks completely can be rebuilt without illusion. The silent reprogramming of your mind. The pain doesn't fade, it rewires you. Before I continue, should I go deeper into this psychological shift? After heartbreak, your mind does something strange. It does not forget, it reprograms. At first, you think you are healing. You tell yourself, time will fix this. But what is actually happening is far more subtle. Your brain begins to build new emotional patterns based on pain, not love. You start noticing details you never noticed before, a tone of voice, a delayed reply, a shift in energy. Things that once felt harmless now feel like warning signals. This is not paranoia. This is evolution through pain. Carl Jung believed that what we do not confront within ourselves, we meet again as fate. And heartbreak forces confrontation. You begin to question everything. Was I blind? Did I love too much? Can I ever trust again? And in these questions, a new version of you is forming, a more alert version, a more guarded version, a version that no longer gives away its heart without analysis. Even your silence changes. Where you once spoke freely, now you pause. Where you once trusted instantly, now you observe. This is the silent reprogramming of your emotional system. But here is the danger. If you are not careful, you do not just become wise, you become unreachable. And that is where heartbreak stops being healing and starts becoming something else entirely, something dangerous. When love turns into fear of love itself. The most dangerous shift is not losing love, it's fearing it. Before we go deeper, should I continue straight into part 4 after this, or do you want to pause and reflect on this stage? Now listen closely. There comes a point after heartbreak where something subtle changes inside you. You don't just feel pain anymore. You start anticipating pain, and that is where love begins to transform into fear. At first, you don't notice it. You still smile. You still talk. You still laugh at things that once felt normal. But when someone gets too close, something inside you pulls back, not loudly, quietly, like a door slowly closing without sound. You begin to associate intimacy with risk, affection with danger, attachment with loss, and without realizing it, your heart starts building invisible walls. Not because you want to be cold, but because you never want to feel that breaking again. Sigmund Freud once explored how the mind protects itself from emotional trauma by creating defense mechanisms. And after heartbreak, your strongest defense becomes emotional distance. You stop running toward love. You start analyzing it. You start questioning every kind gesture, every sweet word, every moment of closeness. And this is where the danger begins. Because you are no longer experiencing love as it is. You are experiencing love through the memory of what it did to you. Even when someone new enters your life, they are not meeting you directly, they are meeting your past pain. And so you hesitate, you delay, you sabotage without even realizing it, not because you are broken, but because you are afraid of becoming broken again. And slowly something tragic happens. You become so good at protecting your heart that you forget how to use it. The version of you that never goes back. Healing doesn't always return you. Sometimes it replaces you. Before I end this, should I go even deeper into the final transformation, or pause here for your analysis? Now imagine this. Time has passed. Not days, not weeks. But enough time for silence to become normal again. You don't cry the way you used to. You don't replay memories as often, and one day you realize something strange. You are no longer trying to go back, not because you healed completely, but because the version of you that existed before heartbreak no longer feels like home. This is the final transformation, not recovery, replacement. Carl Jung believed that individuation, the process of becoming whole, often requires the death of old identities, and heartbreak accelerates this process violently. You become someone new, someone more aware, more selective, more silent in emotional spaces, more protective of peace than attachment. And here is the paradox. You miss who you were, but you would never survive being them again, because that version of you loved without filters, trusted without hesitation, gave without boundaries, and the world showed you the cost of that innocence. So now you stand in a strange place. You are not the same person who broke, but you are not entirely healed either. You are something in between, and this in-between version is where most people live for the rest of their lives. Not broken, not whole, but aware, and awareness, once born, never fully dies. So the real question is not, will you go back? The real question is, even if you could, would you want to? Heartbreak was never just the end of a relationship. It was the beginning of your transformation, and what you become from it depends on whether you let pain harden you or awaken you, because one leads to isolation and the other leads to wisdom, and the choice is made quietly. Every single day you wake up after the breaking,